Welcome to the Accountancy Learning AAT sample paper walkthroughs. I'm Sarah, and in this video I'll take you through the Introduction to Bookkeeping sample paper 2 task 2. So this task is about principles of double entry bookkeeping. At the end of February, a business had the following assets and liabilities. Part A asks us to complete the table below to show the accounting equation and enter all figures as positive values. So our accounting equation is assets minus liabilities equals capital. So let's go through and identify which of the categories each of these figures apply to. So computer equipment is an asset. Cash at bank, so that's cash that we've got in the bank, which is an asset. Receivables, so that's what our customers owe us, so that's an asset. Payables, that's what we owe to our suppliers, so that's a liability. We have a liability to pay our suppliers. Having a loan from the bank is another liability, and fixtures and fittings is an asset. So we're going to add all of our assets together and then we're going to take off the liabilities. So our assets is 4,080 plus 16,781.09 plus 8,339.89 plus 7,734. So we add all of those together and we get a total assets figure of £36,934.98. Our liabilities, we need to add these two figures here together. So 2851.35 and 4,000 to give 6,851.35 as our liabilities. And then remember, to get our capital, we're going to find the difference between the two. So assets less the liabilities is £30,083.63. The first transaction recorded in March related to cash taken from the till by the owner to purchase a new computer for the business. Identify the effect this transaction will have on the accounting equation in A. So we need to look at what's going to happen to assets, liabilities and capital in relation to the transaction that has happened. So first of all, it's cash taken from the till. So this is going to be an asset, and we're purchasing a new computer, which is also going to be an asset. So a new computer is going to increase our asset, but the cash being taken from the till will decrease the asset. So therefore it's going to both increase and decrease assets. The final part of this task then is the transactions below have been entered into the cash book with the effect of either increasing or decreasing the asset of cash at the bank. Identify the opposite effect of each bank transaction by dragging the appropriate description into the table. You should ignore that. So we've got our descriptions down here that we need to choose from. And we're looking at the opposite effect. So we've got our bank side, but what is the opposite side of the double entry doing? So paid for advertising services. So that's money that's left the bank to pay for these services, which means these are going to increase expenditure. So these are expenses to the business. Transferred surplus money to a bank's savings account. So our savings account is going to be an asset. So we are going to increase the asset because we're increasing the savings account. We've repaid a loan. So we've paid out of the bank, which is this side of the transaction, and our other side is going to affect the liabilities. It's going to decrease our liability because we've repaid a loan. So decrease the liability. Received a cheque from a credit customer. So the customer has sent in a cheque. We've banked that cheque, so the money's gone into our bank. And the other side is that we would decrease the receivables ledger control account, which is an asset. So we're going to be decreasing our asset. Received a cheque for cash sales. So again, the cheque has gone into the bank and the cash sales is our income. So when we do cash sales, it goes directly into the bank or into cash and increases our income. And then finally, we've received a refund from a cash supplier for an amount overpaid for computer repairs. So we've had the money come back in for the cash supplier, and originally we've put these computer repairs in as an expense. So now that we're getting the refund for them, it means that we are decreasing our expenditure. So when you're given these type of questions, make sure you identify what type of account is involved and then have a look at whether you're increasing or decreasing. And that completes task 2.